So we've been talking about writing and the value of writing and how to create a book and how to possibly get it to market. I just wanted to offer some final thoughts on this. One would be, if you want to be successful, the best thing you can do is to write a good book. You know, in all my years, I've spoken at hundreds of writing conferences, and the most frequent question I got was, what's the secret? What's the secret? As though there was some magic bullet that would cause them to get their book into the market. And it's like, look, I don't know any secrets, but I can tell you that if you write a good book, your chances are much better. Now, even that's not a guarantee. I have known great books that haven't sold. And I have known terrible books that have sold like crazy. What does that prove? Well, it proves that H.L. Mencken was right. H.L. Mencken was a American critic back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s who once said that nobody ever went broke, underestimating the taste of the American people. Because the fact is, people will buy junk sometimes. Look, here's what you need to know. You're going to write a good book, and you're going to take your best shot. And you're going to be proud of what you created. So I would say some takeaways. Look, be encouraged. This is, as I said earlier, the golden age of Christian publishing. No time in history has had more books or more opportunities to create books than our time. No time in history has had this many readers or this much access. This is a great time to be in publishing. It really is. So be encouraged by that. Second thought, focus on improving. I mean, as a writer, think about, how can I get better? Listen to people. Have an open mind when people suggest to you, this is how you could be a better writer. Go to writing workshops. Read books on writing. And if you're interested in some suggestions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me directly. It's just my name, Chip MacGregor @yahoo.com, and I'm happy to answer your questions for you. Another thought, network. Publishing, we think it's all about books. It's all about things on the shelf, like behind me. The fact is, book publishing is like any other business in this world. It's a network. I would say to people all the time, the best part of being in publishing was the people I got to work with. Great people, great ideas and thinkers. I had a chance to be Brennan Manning's agent for a while, and Brennan Manning was a Catholic priest who then got married, and it turns out the Catholic Church frowns on that, and so he ended up being a bit broader, but the fact is he wrote on spirituality. His book, The Ragamuffin Gospel, absolutely revolutionized my life. And when I had a chance to then be his agent, I was thrilled. The people that I got to be around, that's what matters, because I spent a career helping people who had great ideas get them into print, helping people who cared about great ideas get them out to the market. So learn to network. I'll tell you something else. You can go to publishing conferences, writing conferences, and things like that. But if you do that, follow up. I don't know how many times I said to people, they'd go to a conference, they'd sit there, they'd go to courses, they'd hear great writers talking about how to make great characters, or how to make a strong argument, or what makes a great book, or how to market and sell your book. And they'd sit there at the conference, they'd make notes in their notebook, and then they'd go home, they'd take their notebook, they put it on their shelf, and they keep doing things the same way they've always done them. Look, the fact is, if you want to be successful at this, you follow up, you change, you learn things. Don't take the notebook and stick it away. You persist with this because that's how you get better. If you grew up playing the piano, my guess is when you first started, you were awful. When my daughter Molly was a little girl, the band started at school and she was given a violin. There is no greater pain as a parent than listening to a small child screech on a violin. It's absolutely, and there's no way to soften it, by the way, because it's not like an electric guitar that you can simply unplug, because violin sounds just resonate through the house. But she got better. She got to be really good. And the fact is, that's one of the things, that's what happens when you persist at something. So it's just that notion of being encouraged by what's going on in the market and learning to improve and networking with other people and following up and keep trying and keep writing. I'll close with this. I've always thought one of the most beautiful scenes in all of literature was written by C.S. Lewis in The Magician's Nephew. In the last book of his series, Aslan, the lion, describes how that world, the world of Narnia, was made. Aslan started singing, and he sang the world into existence. As he sang, Lewis describes it, as he sang, the world formed, and trees popped up, and things were created as he sang. He spoke the world into existence. Lewis had it right, because that's how the Bible says that our world was created. That God spoke, and he spoke the world into existence. As a writer, you are sitting down to create a story. And you get to just speak it into existence. You get to just create this world. If you're writing a novel, you are creating people and places and events, and you're just creating this world and spinning it and speaking it into existence. If you're writing a nonfiction book, you are speaking into the lives of people by talking about truth and what you've experienced and what you've found helps people grow, the solutions, the answers that they're looking for. You speak that into existence. That's what an author does. I don't know if there is anything that reflects our Creator more than being able to write like that. So, my encouragement to you is that if you're watching this, I assume you enjoy writing. So create the world, write that into existence, and see how that has the possibility of changing lives for the kingdom. If you have any questions, I want you to feel free to email me. My email is chipmacgregor@yahoo.com, and I'm happy to answer them. I can recommend books and places to go. And this will be the only commercial that I give you. My wife and I wrote a couple of books on this. We wrote this one called Step-by-Step Pitches and Proposals. It's by Chip MacGregor and Holly Lawrence, my wife and I. It is a step-by-step manual of how to create a book proposal and how to approach a publishing house to publish your book. I'll tell you, there are a bunch of books like that. The reason you should buy this one is because I actually include real proposals, not just like, here's the idea of how to do it. I actually include examples. Here are proposals of books that I took, helped create, and then sold to publishing houses so we know it works. So that's step by step. The other book that we created, How Can I Find a Literary Agent and 101 Other Questions Asked by Writers. This is basically a Q&A book about the publishing process, but people always wanted to know about literary agents. They want to know about how the process worked. So I used to answer questions on my blog about it. I had a very popular blog. A number of times it was listed by Writer's Digest magazine as one of the 100 best websites for writers. And over time, people kind of stopped going to blogs, and so we took a bunch of the answers that I had created, and we put them together into a book, How Can I Find a Literary Agent? Again, that's the only commercial you're going to get. These books, which are self-published, are available on Amazon or at barnesandnoble.com if you're interested, or if you have a question, you can reach out to me. All right, I just want to say, if you have a story to tell, if you've got a message to share, then I will certainly be encouraging to you, because writing is hard work. It's an art, and I wish you the best with your art. Blessings.